So let's take a trip down memory lane. I actually wanted to go ahead and revisit what were the cheapest iPhones Apple ever made. And actually, when you think about it, the iPhone SE lineup was the easy, call out. When you look at the original iPhone SE, I kind of was under the impression that this specific iPhone was the cheapest one Apple ever made. Now, I will say at that moment, this probably was the cheapest one at that time. It was being sold for $399, and I think this was probably the smartest thing Apple has ever done. When you look at the design of this iPhone, yeah, it looks a little bit dated now, especially with the front design being what it is, 3.5-inch screen and everything. The greatest thing Apple did at this moment was they recycled a design that wasn't old. It wasn't extremely outdated. It was stemming from the iPhone 5S. It had pretty much the same exterior as that, but the iPhone 5S was a 2013 flagship. This was a 2016 budget phone, but it wasn't out like 3 years after. It was about 2.5 years, not even. That's when the iPhone SE came out, the original one. Then we had something like the iPhone SE2. Now with this iPhone, I think this is the iPhone SE2. Wait, maybe. Actually, I think this one was the iPhone SE2. What was crazy was that when Apple went ahead and redesigned this specific device to what it was now, I think this was also not a bad thing, but it quickly became a little bit dated. Because of the design, it wasn't even because of the design to be the most part. It was because of the home button. When Apple went ahead and put this home button back on this device like this, it quickly became an outdated device. This was the same time we had a device like the iPhone 11, and that was a really solid phone. I like that iPhone a lot more. With this iPhone SE though, when you factor in inflation and everything, this is still technically, I guess from the calculator I was using, not the cheapest iPhone Apple made, and neither was the iPhone SE1. Technically speaking, the iPhone SE3 that just came out, and I'm assuming because inflation is really high right now, because the iPhone SE came out at $429, even though it was a price increase, it's actually technically the cheapest iPhone Apple ever made. If you go inside of your inflation calculator, you can find whichever one you want. You can find that the iPhone SE1, I think, is around $450 or something like that. The iPhone SE2 is about $430, and this one at $429 or for whatever it was, it's actually a little bit cheaper than the iPhone SE2, even though that one came out not even barely 2 years ago. So the iPhone SE3, technically speaking, is the cheapest iPhone Apple has ever made when you factor in inflation and everything, even though they were $399 for all of them. But the issue that I'm having now is that where does this take us for the future of Apple? Where does this take us for the future of the iPhone SE lineup? Because if they're going to continue the prices and the price increase year after year, I'm going to be curious what the next iPhone SE is going to be bringing. I think it's probably going to be bringing that iPhone XR body, but at $429, I have a hard time believing that Apple's going to do something like that. I think they're going to continue selling the iPhone SE3 for many, many years to come, and then the iPhone SE4, or whatever they're going to call it, and that is going to be the successor that we really wanted, that iPhone XR body, that, hopefully better camera setup, maybe dual camera setup, maybe iPhone 11 will be some down there too, but when it comes down to it, these are the cheapest iPhones Apple has made, but the iPhone SE3, as much as weird as that phone is, it's actually probably technically the cheapest iPhone Apple has ever made when you consider inflation. If you have any other thoughts or questions about this, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.